Hi there, and welcome back to my new demo video. And I like the little three guys at the beginning there. It's kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000. Maybe they were playing to riff on the game here, but of course that would be my job. But well, I was saying that I don't think I'm as fun. I'm nowhere near as funny as those guys. But anyway, Rock of Ages. Yeah, it's a game about a rock. And this little intro sequence here, I'm sure you hardcore fans of Greek mythology, you know, you wild crazy fans, I'm sure you're getting a lot of this, because this is the story of that guy. I forget his name and I can't really read it, but anyway, I do remember the story though. He was punished by the gods, forced to push a rock up a hill for all eternity. And that's pretty much the premise of the game. And I do like the characters in the background. Again, it's like little references to Greek mythology. Now, looking at this style, it is fairly obvious what it is inspired by, and that would be the sort of Terry Gilliam animations from the Monty Python TV show and movies. Which, yeah, I'm a huge fan of. I love Monty Python. It's hilarious. Although, admittedly, I've never actually seen much of the TV show. I tried watching a bit of it and I got bored. If I'm honest, I like them. I'll just say I like the movies better. I think they're just more condensed. That and when it comes to sketch shows, a lot of the time it's like half of them work, half of them really work not as well. But anyway, enough to do with British comedy here. I'll just explain the basics of the game. Now this, how can I describe it? It's part tower defense and part rolling sim. You can see it, you sort of take turns in rolling a ball to smash through a wall, and on the other hand you sort of build defences to stop the other person rolling their ball through your door. But you'll see more of that in the other levels. This one's really just a tutorial. You don't really have to worry about an enemy here, you just roll your ball. Oh, and by the way, smashing scenery gets you money, so yeah, game logic at its finest. And when it comes to the title of this game, Rock of Ages, I can't help but think of the Queen song, Brighton Rock. Oh, Rock of Ages, do not worry, da 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 da. A little people magic, and so on. I won't torture you anymore with my singing, my horrible singing. But yeah, that's a good song. It's an album track, and it's got like a really long guitar solo by Brian May. But anyway, with that, I used the sort of the upgraded steel-clad rock, and hooray, we escape the underworld. And with that done, we move on to a proper level now. And in total there are like 3 levels in this little demo. And actually, unlike other demos, this one actually came in HD, which I was surprised by. In full widescreen. I think the others were a bit stretched. But yeah, again, I'm sure Greek fans are loving this sort of mythology references. The Trojan horse there by Agamemnon, whatever his name. But speaking of which, I get it's set in the ancient world, but I never really quite got the Trojan horse story. Because, you know, you wake up one day, the Greeks that were sieging your city have suddenly left. Oh, and they've left a giant wooden horse as a gift. Yeah, you don't need to be a great military strategist to realise what happened there. But then again, it's probably been embellished. Like, for example, if I were to make that story more realistic, I'd make the horse a lot smaller, and like only have a couple of men in there. And then when they bring it into the city, they won't suspect there's an army in there, but the few guys can sneak out and then open the gate and let the others in. But I'm probably overthinking it. I take it the point of that story is to, you know, beware Greeks bearing gifts. Which, and I'm sure if you don't know the story, you might be Greek and be offended by that, but well, the point is just don't accept gifts from your enemies, really. And you can see, if I haven't explained the basic mechanics of the game, you sort of smash the door, like I said, but it also depends on your speed. And you can see here the enemy has built up defense towers to block my way. And of course, well, on most of these towers are pretty defenseless. Like those ones there gave me the most trouble, and I think it's just because they're so close to the door, they break your momentum. And of course, the faster you are, the more damage you do. And that's something I realised after I played this demo, that really I should, you know, I'm building catapults here, as you can see. But it might have been a bit more useful just to build like a block of towers near my door. And just, you know, concentrate on blocking their momentum. Because honestly, I'll put them in the middle here. And the best that's going to do is slow down my enemy during the middle of their run. But they're just going to build up more speed. Anyway. And yeah, like I said, this is where the tower defense part of the game kicks in, because yeah, it's part you roll your ball, but on your hand you have to defend yourself. I like my crowd of supporters there. I guess they followed me from the underworld. And I do like the art style of this game. It's very gorgeous. It is like the architecture you see on ancient Greek pots brought to life. Very reminiscent of the Disney film Hercules. That was yeah, it has its story problems, but I do like the art style of Hercules. You know, Disney and ancient Greece, they're just sort of yeah, I like the way they go together. Now I do complete this in 3 runs, but I do wonder, can you get it done in 2? But I guess that would require some mad ball rolling skills. And in a sense, I guess that's what's kind of unusual about this game, is the fact that it requires strategy, you know, tactics, and action at the same time. Usually it is just one or the other. You know, it's kind of like an action game mixed with a puzzle game, so arguably the two don't go together. And that's something I've thought about. For example, racing games. Someone has brought this up, but I'm not sure if there's ever been a really popular car PG, like a racing game that's like also like an RPG. You know, like I imagine like you win a race, you get some money, and then you upgrade your car. You know, maybe there'll be a story with your character as well. But anyway, the point I'm trying to get at is that you don't see that combination. And my guess would be that people play racing games to race and go fast, and people play RPGs to strategize and think about stuff. And like the one group of people probably won't buy a game if it's mixed with the other element. If you get what I mean. I do like that very manly scream there. Yes, very Gillian-esque. And this is the 3rd level of the demo. And I'm sure classic gamers will get a little giggle out of this cutscene. Ah, hello, Mr. Belmont. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Boing. Vlad Tepes. Of course, he's one of the inspirations for the myth of Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, who, funnily enough, used to impale people. Although I don't know how much of that is exaggerated, but nevertheless, we get this level now. And I do notice in this level they give you this one square here, so I put a catapult there. And something else I didn't mention is that if you fall off the level, you just get placed back on track. And honestly, I'm not sure what the penalty is, because it doesn't seem to damage your rock that much. So I guess it's just an inconvenience. And yeah, it also brings up the fact that when I'm designing these traps, I'm designing them to slow down the rock rather than trying to damage it, because that's really your best bet. And in this run I managed to upgrade to this flaming rock here. This rolling stone is not going to gather moss anytime soon. That was a joke, I think. Yeah. And also you can see here there are these golden keys, which in the demo don't do jack, but I'm pretty sure they were alluding to something in the main game. Like you collect all the keys and you get a bonus level. And to talk about the engine that created this game, it was actually made with Unreal Engine 3, which is the same engine the Gears of War franchise uses. And actually quite a few games in my little demo series here use that engine. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but yeah, it's quite a popular engine. Oh, like the Transformers Fall of Cybertron used it as well. That, yeah, silly me. But anyway, you can see my so frustrating. I so wanted to play through this door as the fireball, but alas, the explosion sort of killed my speed. And I do notice here there's sort of like a narrow section here, but again I'm putting all my defences in the same area, which yeah, my guess is if I spread them out, the opponent will just roll through them and it won't really affect them that much. Anyway, that's my strategy here anyway. A few catapults here. And also dynamite, and you can also get cows, a good variety really. Although in hindsight, I think all they need is the rooks, the towers. I'll probably be better off just spamming a huge block of those obstacles to kill their speed. Yeah, looking at this game, I can't help but feel the level designs will probably be a bit repetitive. But because of the format of this game, you're probably going to get most of them. Probably will be just a straight line, or well, not a straight line, but a single line that's curved round. Pretty much most of them are, but saying that, sometimes the most simplest of ideas can work really well, and it does have an interesting art style, and it is loaded full of charm. You know, it's a very fun game to play. Well, it might be something I would probably get bored of if I played it long term. And again, I'll lose my gilded spikes there, but alas, one more hit should do it. And I'm playing as the Greek hero here, but you can play as the others and play multiplayer. The demo doesn't have that feature, but it doesn't really need to, really. Yeah, I must say I'm glad I wouldn't do an LP of this game, because I've pretty much covered all I would have to say about it in this video. And honestly, even though I had fun with it, it's not really a game I would seek out to buy on purpose. You know, because I would imagine I would buy it, I would download it. It would take up room on my PS3's hard drive, but I probably wouldn't touch it that much if I'm honest. In fact, this seems like a game where you could probably do a simple version for the for an iPhone or something, and that would work just as well. Well, at least there's, you know, a change in the scenery. We get to see a bit more trees, a bit more green, a bit more mountains. Looks very lovely. And of course, if you can tell, the ball can jump, and I'm sort of trying to use that feature to get past all these giant boulders. Well, needless to say, if your rock becomes damaged, it does less damage to the wall. And I like how it screams as well. Yeah, because boulders tend to scream a lot, don't they? I do like the face that's on the rock. It's so happy. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, I'm a rolling boulder. Like a rolling stone. Anyway, that's Squash's vampire. But you know what? He's still a better vampire than Edward Cullen. Whew, and with that, the demo's over. Like I said, I found it enjoyable, fun. I probably won't buy the full version.